I know we're all upset and frustrated about the game yesterday and the loss to the Eagles. It wasn't pretty. It was very ugly. And we're going to react and go into a lot of overreactions, not just from me, but from Saints fans just like you. But do not forget what week it is. It is Falcons Hate Week, the most important week, 2 weeks of the year. So get in the comment section and give me a WHO DAT if you believe that the black and gold are going to put the Falcons back through the spin cycle and beat down the Dirty Birds. Got myself a little amped up there, but it's okay. It's Overreaction Monday, so we're going to be getting a little bit crazy in today's video. No matter where you are or how you're watching, we greatly appreciate you for joining us here at Saints Now by Chat Sports. My name is Trace Girouard, and what we're going to be doing today is overreacting to the Week 3 loss against the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to go through some things that I've seen on social media, go through some of my own opinions, and I'm just going to kind of lay it all out there for you and see what you guys have to say in response. But today's show would not be made possible if it weren't for our awesome friends over at Factor Meals. And I'll tell you what, yesterday I was mad. I was very, very upset, and I had no desire to try and whip myself up some dinner. So I heated up a Factor meal. I actually had that loaded bacon shredded chicken. Guys, that meal was gas. And if you head over to factormeals.com/SaintsChat50 and you use code SaintsChat50, you'll actually get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. And with 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from each week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. And you can make every day delicious from breakfast to dessert. You can stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. And so if you want to meet your wellness goals this fall, you got to check out Factor Meals. They have a delicious menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and keto-friendly diets. So one more reminder, head on over to factormeals.com/SaintsChat50 and use code SaintsChat50. You see it at the bottom of your screen to get 50% off your first box. But wait, there's more. You'll also get 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. So use code SaintsChat50 at factormeals.com/SaintsChat50. The link and the information is all in the comment section, the description of this video. Shout out to Factor Meals for making today's show possible. And the first thing, we got to discuss it. You probably saw it on the thumbnail. You probably saw it in the title. Are the New Orleans Saints in big trouble? Well, I'm going to give it one WHO DAT. And so how this kind of works here for this graphic for the sake of it, one Saints logo, that's one WHO DAT, meaning I'm not really sold on it. There's a little bit of truth. Shout out to Jeremy Chugs for popping this graphic up, the explainer for our rumors meter. So when it comes to the New Orleans Saints and them being in big trouble, it's a small shred of truth. Now, I will say this. Yesterday's game, it left me a lot less confident than the previous 2 weeks for very obvious reasons here. But I think it's important. All of us, just really quick, kumbaya, let's take a quick breath. It's okay. We all knew going into this season, you're not going to go undefeated. We all knew less than a month ago when you started the season, you weren't starting off 5-0. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when people were saying, man, if we can win just 2 of these games, we're sitting pretty. 1 and 2. So there's 2 wins. That's a team you can beat. The Chiefs, they're great. Don't get me wrong. They're a hard team to beat. But they have not been playing the cleanest football, in my personal opinion. So my point with all of this, nobody expected the New Orleans Saints to go 5-0. So to sit here and say we are in big trouble, we are screwed, the season's over, that's not true. Now, why is it not true? Well, you're still on top of the NFC South. Like, sure, you have the same record right here, but if the playoffs were to end right this second, the New Orleans Saints are making the postseason. I know you really wish you were 3-0 because the Bucs lost yesterday, the Falcons lost on Sunday Night Football, so that just really would have propelled you forward. But at the end of the day, you're still on top of the division. So don't hit the panic button quite yet. You also were missing 2 very important parts of your offense, with Eric McCoy leaving the game in the third or after the third play. We didn't even get to see 60 seconds of Eric McCoy on the field, for the record. It was bad. He left with a groin injury, did not come back. It's a situation we're monitoring and I'm paying very close attention to. So if there's any injury updates around him, we're going to make sure you guys are informed. But Taysom Hill also was a big-time player that was not available due to a chest injury. Got an injury update around him really quickly. I wanted to remind you guys. Just hang out for a few more minutes. We'll get to that in a second. But did you know this? I'm going to make you feel a little bit better about this team after that loss. The New Orleans Saints offense, it's still number one in scoring across the league. And it's not particularly close. It's by 18 points. So that's pretty cool. The defense, they're number 5 across the league in scoring and points allowed. That's really, really good. And lastly, this defense is number 2 in takeaways. I don't think that we're in big trouble. I think that this is a team that had a speed bump, that played against a quality opponent, and it was a scrappy, ugly game, and you just didn't win it. There's a lot of reasons, there's a lot of excuses, but for me, I just do not believe that the New Orleans Saints are in big trouble. Why is there one? Because if Taysom Hill and Eric McCoy's injuries linger and they're not on the field, this is an issue that's just going to continue to be a problem. However, if both of those players can return soon, fingers crossed, I think we'll be A-okay. But really quick, I just wanted to say thank you so much to everybody for subscribing to the channel yesterday. Over 90,000 views on our watch party for Saints versus Eagles. We crossed the 33,000 subscriber milestone. So let's keep on moving, keep on growing, and let's show the world that the Saints fan base is the number 1 fan base across all of sports. So hit that sub button, lock us in for daily videos, multiple live shows a week, and a lot of fun and interactive content. Now, in overreaction number 2, okay, before you click out, just, I'm with you. It's an overreaction. Do we want to bring back Michael Thomas? Massive overreaction. But this isn't me saying this. I'm reacting to what I saw on social media, exactly like I told you at the beginning of this video. For the record, I'm not trying to trash any of these people. I think that all of them are, just sharing their opinions, sharing their thoughts on this. But I wanted to give my opinion on it because this post right here got a lot of traction and a lot of engagement. And a solid amount of that was very positive, saying, we need Michael Thomas. We should have had him back. I mean, it brings me to this point. Collian or Diablo Soul, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But anyway, this guy right here said this would have been a perfect game for Michael Thomas to eat slants all game. I agree. Just for the record, Michael Thomas on the slants the entire game when you have 0 pass protection because the Eagles' defensive line is just dominating in the trenches. Derek Carr has no time to throw. Michael Thomas on the slant, that would have been a good game. And then this tweet right here from Saint Soldier. Whispers, MT would have been big today. Like, I'm not disagreeing with any of that. I'm not. But it gets even better. Like, the plot thickens. Nick Underhill, during the game, he posted this. The Chase Young and Pete Werner with the biggest defensive player of the year. Wow. And Michael Thomas, notable alum of the Ohio State University, showing love to a couple of other players on the Saints roster who were also former Buckeyes. Now, let's just talk about it. The Saints are not bringing back Michael Thomas. It's just not going to happen. If you want Michael Thomas back, it's not going to happen, in my opinion, until Dennis Allen's not around. I just do not see a world where the current coaching staff has any interest in bringing back Michael Thomas. I'm not going to get into the conversation about what he did last year. I'm not going to get into the conversation of whether or not he's a cancer in a locker room. But the New Orleans Saints do have something positive brewing in the locker room, and this is a type of team and a different looking team than we've seen in previous seasons. So for me, they're not bringing back Michael Thomas. It's time to just move on from that topic, push it to the wayside. It's not happening anytime soon. Could he have been impactful? Sure, maybe. Who knows? But he's not on the roster, so it doesn't matter. And, I mean, for the love of God, if you want a wide receiver that's big over the middle that can make plays, throw A.T. Perry in there. Stop making him a healthy scratch. Like, unbelievable that him and Bub Means both did not get any action. Dallin Holker, barely, like, not a single target. Like, you have options that can fill the Michael Thomas role. You don't need an injured Michael Thomas to come and fill that role. Giggity. You just need somebody to fill those reps, essentially. You have players who can do that. So for me, I'm typing no, but I want you to get your answers in. Would you bring back Michael Thomas? Are you interested in it? Yes or no? I expect to see a lot of no's in the comment section. Again, this isn't me trying to blast people who want to bring back Michael Thomas. I understand where you're coming from, but I'm here to tell you, in my personal opinion, I just don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Now, last overreaction, the offense needs Taysom Hill. I totally agree. 4 WHO DATs for that. And remember, 1 WHO DAT is it's 25% true. Don't really buy it. People are sort of talking, nothing crazy. 4, that is 100% a fact. This offense needs number 7. Yesterday, the game plan without him, it wasn't great. And really quick, I want to provide an injury update because we do have some news around Taysom Hill. He was actually ruled out because of a chest injury, and it turns out that it was a bruised lung. Jay Glazer, the one to report that, and Dennis Allen, after the game, he had this to say: we ended up deciding to rule him out. I'm hopeful he'll be ready to go next week. So obviously with his presence being missed, you want to see him available for a divisional opponent because he has been good in his history against the Atlanta Falcons. And for Taysom Hill specifically, number 7 is a walking X factor. It doesn't matter what you want him to do. It doesn't matter what the play call is. If he is on the field, a defensive coordinator has to pay attention, which means a player or two has to pay attention. It just does not make any sense to me to not put Taysom Hill on the field if he's available. So him returning is massive in terms of the Saints offense and the abilities that they can have. But with Taysom Hill returning, you don't want to rush him back as well because what if this turns into a further injury? Like, we're still very early on into the season. I do not want to see the Saints mortgage the entire season on one game against the Falcons. Yes, it's an important one to win. Absolutely, you have to bring your A game. But I also think it's really, really important to have Taysom Hill in your offense, especially if you do find the success that Saints fans like you and me have been sort of expecting after the first 2 weeks. And I'm not saying expecting, but I am saying there is a little bit of an idea, at least in my opinion as a Saints fan, that, hey, we're better than what we anticipated. So the expectation is a little bit higher than what it was. I want to see number 7 be around for the rest of the season. I want to see him around and be a key factor late into the season, hopefully into the playoffs and whatnot. But at the end of the day, what's most important is just getting him healthy. So I want to send him some good vibes. I want you to help me out. Get in the comment section, type 7 to send Taysom Hill some positive health vibes. We want to say, just get well soon, Taysom. We missed you in week 3. We really hope you're good to go for week 4. Send Taysom Hill some love. Type those 7s. And really quick, if you guys want to get some more updates and more coverage in between these videos, we post about one video a week, or not a week, one video a day, I should say, about 5 to 7 videos a week. You can also hit me up on social media. I've been really upping my game on social media. I've been trying to give you guys more content. You do actually get some exclusive content that we can't post on YouTube. So if you want to get more exclusive, awesome, interactive, and free Saints coverage, hit your boy up. And y'all stay golden. We will see you next time.